morning, Roxy Soxy.
Good morning, Tam Tam, or should I say afternoon? 1
Good
o'clock.
afternoon. Oh my God, it's
One.
been such a crazy ass week. Like, what has it been? Like, what's happening over there?
Dude, it's one of those weeks where literally shit is like happening every fucking
Actual
day.
shit? Or
Yeah, like school shit. The one saving grace is that my child is actually in school now.
I know, I'm so jealous. I had this whole conversation with Sean last night and I was like, what the fuck? Roxy's got her kids in school, her husband's out of her way, she's got a whole fucking life back. And I was like, I'm sitting here with literal shit trying to potty train my kid. I was like, I want to be Roxy right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, it definitely helps. I'll say that. Like having the kid out, like having the husband in the back, like doing work. It definitely works for me. It gives me more time for my wine.
Oh, I know. And showers, because I feel like you smell good. I can see across that you've showered.
Could you tell that I showered and washed my hair today?
I can tell.
Game changer.
Sean walked in the other day and I was like, what is that smell? And he goes, I think it's me. And I was like, it probably is you. He's like, do you know I haven't showered for 3 days? And I was like, yeah, probably. I can see. It's all the pandemic. The pandemic smell, I feel like, will be with us for a long time.
Yes. How does he get his hair to do that? It stands up. Like, how does he do that? It's amazing.
All he does is go outside in Texas, and there's a lot of humidity here, and his hair stands up in his head. But we are going to have a few drinks today, Roxy, because the people that we're talking to, the two lovely ladies that we're talking to, are two hilarious best friends who've created a massive online community of moms who share stories, advice, truths. They're a little naughty like us, so I feel like that's why we kind of get on, or hopefully we get on. We don't know. They might be like over us in the first 10 minutes. They have a massive social media platform of millions of moms. They have books, podcast, tour, everything. I think we need to get our shit together so we can become them, Roxy.
Yes.
They are, and if you don't know who they are, then you're living under a rock, but they are Cat and Nat. Cat and Nat, the franchise.
Y'all are making me. I like when you said tour, and you're like, and I was like, oh, I feel that in my loins.
Oh, I feel
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I'm also ovulating right now, and when you ovulate, you have a lot of testosterone, so everything's like, yeah, baby.
How do you know that?
How do you guys not know about your hormones? There's an app for that.
Oh, well, because we're not trying to do anything.
No, but there's four different parts of your cycle, and you're a different person in each different part of your cycle.
Yeah, we learned this at an event. Yeah, and then
but I can't feel it. I'm not like self-aware enough to know.
You're supposed to eat certain things during that moon cycle.
Yes.
I just know I have high testosterone, and my doctor said you must have a high libido, and I said sounds like I'm half man with no sex drive.
You don't have a high libido. That's your hormones.
That's it. So
That's
you don't have a high libido, like both of you, or okay? So
no.
Well, you have met the person you need to meet, because welcome Tam and Sursuck. This chick is a fuck machine.
I would have I wouldn't say a fuck machine, but I would say I would have sex happily once a day. I don't get it once a day.
Yes,
I'm not allowed it once a day.
Why?
Because he gets tired. I'm only allowed it a couple times a week. So I begged yesterday. I think it was 2 days ago. I was like, please, can you just have sex with me, please?
Oh my God, you are our husband.
You're a dream.
Yeah.
You're a dream. Yeah, I don't know.
But I wonder okay, so you are the instigator, right? I feel like it always has to be one. Like,
right.
If how do I say, like, my husband always knows he's the one who has to chase me, and so I always know it's available. You know, it's just
that's me. I'm so. Oh my God, that's so sad.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think if I for a week, if I was pissy about it and I was like, well, I'm going to show you, I'm going to withhold for a week. Then after a week, he would want to be with me.
Have you done that before?
She can't.
Experiment?
I have waited a week. It's hard, but I have.
Wow. You little vixen. I love that. I want to be just like you.
I'm going to tell you something. We did a podcast with a hormone specialist that said, and I'm sure most men are doing this, but once you have really good orgasms, like really good orgasms where they take over your whole body and you enjoy sex the entire time, you want it. It's like having a glass of wine. You want wine because you're enjoying it the beginning, during, and after. Like you're enjoying the whole process of it. You're enjoying, right? Women need the lead up. They need it's different parts of different cycles. You just need it to be over.
Just land.
We're a bunch of dudes over here. Like, I'm like, I can have it and it can be really great. And after it's done, I'm like, I'm so glad it's like a workout. I'm like, I'm so glad I did it. But the lead up and honestly,
and the thought of it all day,
and also making it last long. Like, I know how to do this, and I know how to do it fast.
Yeah.
So let's leave.
There's a reason vibrators are so popular. In my belief, no one's playing with their vibrator for an hour. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
it's in
there are different cycles. Like for example, like you're supposed to have more lead up in the beginning of your cycle because you don't have as much like moisture down there. Who says moisture? Isn't that a terrible word? So there has to be lead up to have a good orgasm. Whereas in the second half, when you're ovulating, or lube, whatever. But in the second half, when you're ovulating, that's when you can do fast, hard, ready. It's enjoyable the whole time.
That's when they say, like, when you check.
Egg whites.
And that's when you know the sperm can catch in. They go just go like this, like in between your two fingers.
That's what she slipped on. No,
I missed that part of the conversation before this podcast started, but she slipped on something.
On sperm.
On sperm. I nearly broke my neck, you guys. When my husband and I had done the ditty, this was earlier last year. Done the ditty. Earlier last year, I was trying to steal a sperm because at the time I wanted another one. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. Come to find out, come literally, no pun intended. We had like the towel, after the cleanup towel, right?
Oh. God,
and so he was
running away.
He was like, I gotta go, and he was trying to put it like in the laundry, but it landed on the floor like face down where the juice was, and I didn't know that because it's obviously clear. So I picked up the towel and was like kind of like walking fast, and literally my legs went out from under me, and I almost fucking broke my neck.
Yeah.
On his, what would you have told the doctor?
I slipped on sperm.
I slipped on sperm, and I probably would have sued him because I could, right?
Yes, good one. That is a great idea.
Right. I mean, he caused bodily harm, you know?
But that goes to the question of like, okay, so if she was trying to steal his sperm, is it okay if you're married? Okay, because I want a third kid, my husband does not. So is it okay if you're married to be like ovulating and to be like, no, honey, it's 2 days. He knows when it's my period because I'm terrible, PMS. But if I said like, hey, I'm about to get my period, there's no way I could get pregnant. Is that okay if you're married?
I would absolutely say it's okay if you're married. Just be able to deal with the repercussions when you tell him you're pregnant. And he goes, I thought you said.
Just wrap your legs around him, vice grip him, and don't let him out.
And then when he's done, you just lay there with your butt in the air and let the sperm just swim.
Just grab and hold.
I remember doing that, like literally, like just laying there for so long and just being like, swim.
Wait,
swim.
Did you take the towel and put it up your vagina?
No.
I thought you stole his sperm, and I was like, so you rubbed it up there to try to get pregnant? No. Okay, got it.
I tried to physically steal it as it was coming out of him, but that fucker is so good with timing. He knew to the second. He was like, pull out. Yeah.
Okay. I understand. So you were, like a good one. So were you going to try to put it back in?
Well, I was not. I was actually just going to try to clean myself up and like kind of move out of the bed.
I just wasn't sure where that was going. If you picked the towel up to spermify yourself, I wasn't sure. I don't judge, I just was curious.
Whoever's like trying to pull out or whatever they do, it's like so many babies. I mean, my second baby was conceived like that. Like it's not foolproof.
Pull and pray.
So he must know. Yeah, he must know.
He literally can time it. You guys, it's insane. I'm like, how did you know even the he knows. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah. He had me in the position where he could do that, if you know what I mean. Where he knew
from behind.
Hand around the throat. I'm going to kill you.
Tam, and I have advice for you.
Oh God.
If you see, when my husband didn't want a third and I desperately wanted a third, and I basically said to him, I want a third more than you don't want a third. And it will be really hard for me to get over the fact that I want this more than you don't want it. So I say if someone is like hard no, and the other person's like really want it, but there's usually someone who wants the decision more.
The problem is that my husband because we're in the film, our jobs mainly aren't on social media. They're in film and TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my husband is a director and he's about to direct his next film and he'll be gone for a couple of months. And then, for me, I was on a show for 7 years. So it's kind of like that back and forth, right? I don't do well with postpartum. I did better with the second postpartum because I had a lot of help. I had a lot of people who were feeding me and my mom came out and I had a night nurse. Thank God. The first one I had nothing. Postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety was terrible. So he had to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And so for him, he's like, yeah, I don't want to give up an entire, because I gave up, I would say, 40% of my life when I had a baby, and he had to give up 60% because I was working and he wasn't at that time. And he's like, I don't want to give up 60% of my life for a year. Now it's like 50-50 for both of us. Like we're both hands-on with the kids and we work at this, like both work and give each other opportunities to work. But now it's like, she's 2. It's great. She's almost potty trained. We're in that sweet spot, it's hard, but it's good. It's that newborn stage,
I know, but it's so short compared to the
but
life.
Then your marriage is over.
My husband did not want 4. He thought we were done at 3. We went bang, bang, bang with 3. And then I was like, wait, I thought we had this discussion before we got married that we would have 4 kids. Like I was sure that all my friends knew. I'm like, did I forget to mention this to you? And he's like, right. 4 kids. Like, just think about how much it's going to cost and the size of our house. We live in the city. Like, they're not. I could have all the kids in the same bedroom. I don't care. I want 4 kids. So I talked to his sister. His sister's older and does have influence. So she basically had a conversation with him one day and was like, she can handle having 4 kids. You are a family that can handle this. You got to give her what she wants. She, she really wants this. And I swear she influenced him. And it was like one day he wrote me this letter. He's like, I want to give you your 4th child. And I was like, I am pregnant tomorrow.
That sister had powers. My God.
I know, it's crazy.
I know.
But are you guys you're probably, do you do most of the work? Like, are you guys the ones who are cooking and cleaning and taking care of their every need? See, that's the thing. I do half of that because the other half I have to be available to do other things. So it's like 50-50.
Yeah. That's a good point. But it's a long game.
Yeah, and it was 50-50 until, we go on the road we travel to, like, we go on tour. We've done 107 cities all over North America and the UK. And they learned very quickly,
But I think if you really want it, it's like, you can't turn back time in like 15 years from now. Yeah. Now's the time. You make that baby. Even if you steal the sperm.
But maybe she doesn't. You'll figure it out.
I want to make the baby. I guess I just and then you have this negative idea of like I don't know if you guys feel this way, and Roxy chime in, but my body went through. I had 2 10-pound babies. I don't know if my body.
Cat had those.
Likes that again. It's can your body handle it? That's something to think about as well. And at what age is too old to be considering, and there is that factor. People say there's not that factor, but it is. Once you get past a certain age, it's like there's more. I've had so many miscarriages. So there's miscarriages and there's, can the baby have issues when you start, like there's Down syndrome and there's things to talk about after a certain age. Like when are you too old, do you think?
I remember when I was younger, and there was this woman that worked with me, and I looked up to her because she was a mom. She was married. I wasn't engaged yet. And she had 2 boys. She's like, I've always wanted to like have a 3rd child, but I have to stop. And I have to say, I have 2 healthy boys. Do I potentially move forward, and who knows what happens, or do I just kind of park it and be grateful with what I have? And she said, my husband and I just decided these boys are everything we've ever needed and wanted, and they're healthy and we're happy. And she's like, so I'm going to let that 3rd one just go, and I'm going to be fine with it.
That's a good way to put it, though. I mean, I see the side of that. I see not, especially if you reach a certain age, like not taking that chance and rolling the dice again. And I mean, it does suck if you're sort of like, see, I came from a different like way of thought because we actually planned on not having kids. So for me, it was like the opposite, right? So it's like, okay, we were like, okay, we're great. Like we're having fun. We're traveling. I can like fucking go out all night if I want. Wake up hungover, lay on the couch.
She can have the bottle of tequila.
long were you together deciding that you didn't want to have kids?
So we dated. Okay, so here's like the quick end of it. We met, then 7 months later we got engaged. Then a year after that we got married, and then we were married for almost 10 years before we had her. Yeah.
What?
I mean, we would literally plan on like not having kids. Yeah. Yeah. And so we were like, okay, it's going to be great. Like we'll travel, we'll retire somewhere, like eventually like to some foreign land and like live on a beach and like drink margaritas all day, you know? And so it totally changed the dynamic for us when we became parents. I mean, it's the best thing that ever obviously could have happened. And I can't believe I didn't know that before, but how would I have known? But anyway, you know, but it still was like it was a game changer. But so for me, I can see where somebody would be like, well, I'm good. You know, like I've got this many, like, so I don't know. It's like a different way of thought. You know,
I was together with Sean for 9 years, I think, before we had kids too.
What?
Yeah.
So you guys have lived a life with your
I met him. So I met him in my just got off the boat from Australia to America. Thank God, or I would have been like a sex fiend. Thank God.
Speaking of when you say that you lived in Australia and you did that show in Australia, when you say we get on really well, that is so like
we get on, mate. Yeah, it's right there. People are very mad I got done on my accent anymore.
If you to say,
wait, did you get rid of your accent?
Oh gosh, it is a point of contention with a lot of people. Very small story is I was on Young and the Restless, came over from Australia, came to the States, didn't have a green card, didn't have anything. They had 3 months to get a job, right? I got the job on Young and the Restless. I was very happy I got the job because I was going to get a green card. I was like, great, it was a 3-year deal. Awesome. I was on the show for 2 months and they called me up to the headquarters and they said, hey, we might have to let you go because your accent keeps coming out. And like, you like don't have an American accent. So like you sound Australian and you're taking over a role. Who's an American, right? So I took the place of someone who's an American. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. So I said to Sean, my husband, I was like, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, well, just talk in an American accent and just like see, like just talk every single day. So you don't even have to think about it. It's like, you know, method acting. The problem is my method acting was 3 years of a show. So they didn't fire me. I got to do 3 years of the show. Problem is the accent stuck. And here it is. If I went back to Australia, I'm sure I'd have a couple of beers. Do you see that?
Yes.
It would come in. And it wouldn't be such an issue.
As soon as we started talking about your accent, I don't know if it's because I've had a glass of wine or two, but I could hear your Australian accent very, very, very faint in there.
Yeah.
So you were born in Australia?
Born in South Africa. I know it's confusing. Born in South Africa, raised in Sydney, Australia, and moved to the States.
Oh, well, we get on so well. I just thought that was so not American to say get on, but I love it because I've met so many like Australians and I just love the way they talk.
Canadians and Australians are very.
How you going?
How you going, mate? Let's go. Yeah,
We don't say that here. How you going? We're like, how are you doing? How you going?
How's it going?
Yeah.
They go, how it going?
How you going?
We have an S in there. How's it going?
So let's talk about how you guys met because you've created such an empire. It is an empire, even if you say it's not. It is, and from pretty much nothing. And you now have millions of people who follow your every move, and you influence them. And influence can be thrown around sometimes like a dirty word, but it's incredible to be able to be someone's voice that they don't have. Like you have a platform that people now, they look up to you. You were their idols. You were their gods, their mother gods. So like, how did it begin? How did you guys meet? How did you explode into Cat and Nat that you are now?
And was it love at first sight for you guys?
Okay.
Yeah, we're married without sex.
We met when we were in 9th grade.
We're not having sex anyway, so it's fine.
Maybe we'll take up dry humping.
What is
different? Dry humping seems less aggressive.
Dry humping. We keep talking about this on our podcast. We should all bring
love
that.
dry humping.
Dry
oh my
humping.
God, dry
Bring
humping
it back.
is the best.
Was
that
the best.
was the best until you like
and heavy petting
so
above the clothes.
Yes.
Above the clothes.
I'm here
not
for it.
under.
And I knew exactly the position to be in to make it a good time. The two of us met when we were in 9th grade, and I'll tell you.
I love that we have dry humping all in common. That is really wow. It feels like we're soulmates. I love
team
this.
dry hump. I mean, it's gotta
I
be.
also feel like in dry humping, like the girl's kind of in control, like because you don't have to worry about the whole like
no penetration.
Just
I'm gonna dry hump tonight, guys. That's what I'll do. I'll say, don't worry. There's no pressure. You don't have to have sex with me. I'm just gonna put your clothes on and dry hump you tonight.
I'm gonna rock back and forth on you like a
Yes.
boat.
You know
Okay.
how many times
Here
You'll be
we
like,
go.
okay, I'm slightly confused, but
No,
It is
sure,
oddly,
honey.
it is oddly satisfying, I have to say.
It is. So I remember.
Wait, do you dry
humping,
hump
guys.
as an adult?
No.
No, I want to. I'm wanting to bring it back.
I was just
I used to
confused.
dry hump guys, and then back then they were wearing like khakis, and then they'd have
Uh-huh.
like a wet spot.
That's how I had my first orgasm. I had my
Yes.
first orgasm dry humping, and something came over my body. I was like,
Yes.
oh my God, what was that? And so the poor guy, I would just dry hump him all the time because I didn't know it was an orgasm. I was just like, what is that feeling? So I'd just be like, lay down. See that thing that I do? I would just
So
dry
hot.
hump him for days. And the guy was like, you're chafing me. And I'd be like, but I
From
need
the
to
zipper
feel
on
that
his
feeling.
jeans. The zipper on his jeans.
You're
him.
I'm glad you're having a great time, but I'm quite sore. I don't care.
And then one time I went to go switch positions. I remember I was dry humping, and I lifted my knee up and I kneed him in the balls. I didn't really know what that whole blue balls thing was, and I kneed him in the balls. It wasn't blue balls, I guess, but I kneed him in the balls, and then
This is
he like
balls.
left.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, my boyfriend said that you need him in the balls while you're dry humping, and he had to go inside to throw up. And I was like, what is even happening? I didn't even know that that's how much it hurt if you need them in the balls. And I was just changing positions. Anyways, we were in 9th grade.
Dry humping.
Which is literally like both of us. It's like a block from my house right now, and like 3 blocks from her house right now is where we went to high school. But we bonded in high school because we couldn't focus in school. We learn now. We have so many learning challenges that were not accommodated back then. But what we could bond in is her mom had a house close by, and the 2 of us would go to her mom's house, and we would eat bagels with cheese and smoke joints. And then
sweet.
Kat would stay home, and then I would go back to school. And
I
he
wouldn't
would be
go
like,
back.
Are you high? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable. And then we kind of we lived our lives, but when we were the first of all of our friends to have babies, nobody had babies as young as we did. And we found each other basically through Facebook. And when you say that people turn to us because they feel like, we're the ones who make them feel like they're not alone, this is what we were to each other. The relationship we have is literally like what ignited the community that we have now.
Yeah, I feel like it's a friendship. I feel like a lot of people feel comfort in our friendship. And I feel like more than even motherhood, it's like when we travel, we meet a lot of women who are alone and who feel alone and who don't have a supportive partner, and they do everything on their own. And I think it's just that I think what people relate to us, which we're so thankful for, because, having a community is so much more important than having just people who are fans, because our community feels connected to us, and we very much know their names and who they are, and they cheer you on and they're excited for you, so I really do think that they've been part of our journey for so long, and they've watched us talk about things and then it come to fruition. And like because we never set out to be something, it really has been a journey with them, which is so crazy. Today I got a pool. In my
I saw on your stories.
You're an actual
today.
pool or like a pool?
An actual
real
pool.
one.
An actual pool. But like it went over my. Anyways, all of the people who have followed us for so long know how long I've been talking about this. That they were like, "I'm so excited for you. Like you've been dreaming of this." So really, is a very close connection.
They've been with us, and that's how we've grown our community. And like when we talk about things that we if we have a dream, like we were like, one day we'd love to come meet you guys for real. And we said it, and we were like, I don't know, we're going to do this. And then we got an opportunity to do something very small in Toronto, and we did it. And then we proved to our agents that we could sell out theaters. And then it happened. It was like everything that we sort of we just dream about it
with them,
and then together we all make it happen.
But like the question is, because we're obviously all in this crazy like pandemic COVID situation, various states of it. How do you stay connected, like so connected to your community when you can't be like present with, I'm physically present with them like in the same room? Is it just through your social media or like?
Yeah, we've been boring.
Yeah, no, I honestly feel like
you're like content is getting
God.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
We have something that could potentially be wrong with us in a way that like we can have the world on our shoulders, but we can always find positivity, and we're always aware that so many people have a heart like it harder than we do, and so we feel so blessed to have what we have. And honestly, we upped our podcast to 3 days a week instead of 1. So we can always be there for people, and they're like, this is what has gotten me through this freaking pandemic is just the two of you finding some
ridiculousness
light or ridiculousness to laugh through this, because like it's not like we're oblivious to what's fucking happening. Like we had 7 kids at home that we were homeschooling. We have got husbands who, like, I got a husband who fucking works in this room
wants so much sex from you.
And wants sex all the time. Like it's not pretty.
It's not hard. It's not easy.
It's not easy, Tammy. I feel for your husband.
Right? Well, it doesn't feel sexy. And Tammin and I talk about this on the show. Like, it does not feel sexy. Well, to you it does. I mean, a fucking cardboard wall would feel sexy, but Jesus. Like, during the pandemic, when I'm seeing him 24/7, 7 days a week, I don't look at him all of a sudden and be like, oh, I just want to fuck you.
No.
I would say the bickering, I would definitely say I think my husband and I bicker more now. And he said to me the other day, he goes, but you're my best friend. And I actually started crying and I said, wait, you think that about me? Because I just feel like I'm so fucking you're so annoyed by me, or I'm in your space all the time, or I'm controlling you, or whatever it is, because we don't have any other outlets. Like I haven't been with friends, or like you guys at least have each other. I'm not saying that makes it easier, but you can vent to each other.
It does.
But it's like, it's hard to like, for the only person that you're around is your husband. So yes, sex, but I remember I said to you, Roxy, that sex to me also can be about something else. Sex to me can also be something about connection and feeling loved and wanted. Yes. So maybe maybe that's something that I have to fix within myself, because
or not.
Just keep having lots of sex. But maybe that's what that's about. But like when you see someone all the time, then sorry.
No, what they say, fondness makes
absence makes the heart grow fonder.
And I have to tell you that I can honestly say, and I think that's so cute that he looks at you and he's like, you're my best friend. That means he respects you in every single way, and he loves being with you, and he turns to you for like ideas and things to like shoot the shit about. My husband is not my best friend. He never has been. No, not at all. No. Okay. I have girl best friends only. This is my best friend, and then I've got a group of girls. My husband is my partner, like my partner in life, my partner in parenting, someone that I have sex with, but not my best friend.
But not all the time.
The person I have to have sex with.
No, but not
that I have to.
Not my best friend.
Maybe you invite him in, maybe you don't.
I would.
Maybe you don't. I don't have a lot in common with him.
I would say my husband's my best friend.
Yeah, I think Tammin for you for sure. Yeah, you guys are super, super cool. Like, you guys are very intertwined. Like, I feel like
codependent.
No, guys, we reached out to Gwyneth's. We saw on Gwyneth's Goop page that there was this psychic who calls crazy. But she was basically like, there's soulmates and twin flames, and soulmates come into your life and leave. They're not always there for a reason. They're not there forever. It's like they're there to teach you a lesson and then they move on. Soulmates aren't always like sexual. They're not always you can have multiple soulmates. And she
we called her ass up, obviously.
She goes, there's like, twin flames, and twin flames are two people that have been together forever who are here for a bigger cause. So they keep coming back to life.
So regardless of your religion or whatever, these two souls have been together
for eons,
and they got rebirth and brought into new life, but they're always together.
So she starts talking to us and she's like, you two are twin flames. And she didn't even charge us. She couldn't stop talking about it. She was like, you two are twin flames. I need to do more investigate like this. She was telling us about our history, our past. She was so excited. And I was like, that makes total sense, because two people who have such synergy, who don't really have to like do much in order to make the relationship work, because when you have a marriage or a relationship, there's expectations, and sex is one of them. And you're often disappointing someone. When you have
budget and money.
And when you have a friendship,
parenting,
it's often what, like us, it's fluid and it's very easy. And there's no, you owe me, I need, not fluid sex, no dry humping. But
I bet you have at least one time on a drunken night.
We never have.
Back in 2002.
I bet you kiss each other. I bet you have.
We actually don't. And we always joke about it. And I'm like, gross. And she's like, no.
Have you seen each other naked?
Yes.
She's seen,
we have.
I often accidentally get naked.
We have to change backstage, and she
Yeah.
always screams that not to look at her naked, but she's drunk and she's always naked, and she won't. No one's looking, and she's like, "Don't look at me." And we look
I don't
around
mind
like,
if you look at my boobs, just not my nipples.
no one's looking at you. We're
Look
trying
at
to get
everything
our
else but my nipples.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
And my nipples are so small, literally, the tips of my fingers can cover them. So I'm like this.
Mine are so
Don't
big.
look at my nipples.
Oh God,
She
I'll
walks
give you some of
around.
mine.
Mine are child size nipples. Even
My
after
husband
nursing the
said
babies.
the other when we had that conversation, he said like, I think I've met you before. He
Oh.
said like, I think I've met you in a different life, and we drive each other
Wow.
batshit crazy, but I don't even know what. See, this is the problem, and maybe that's codependency. I don't know how I would live without him. I said this the other day. I said I don't know. I said I think you'd be fine. Is how I started it. But I said, you know, if you died or something, knock on wood, happened, I don't think I would function for a long time. And he was like, yeah, I don't think I would function either. He said I would move back to Australia, probably to be for the kids to be with your family, you know? And
wow.
And I do feel that way. And I wouldn't say that we're not even gushy. We're not even like gushy people, but there's something
kind of gushy together a little bit.
He's not that gushy. He's not that gushy.
Oh my, come on.
I force him to be gushy. We used to be before kids.
Oh, well, there was a lot of befores before kids, right?
He just told you that you were his best friend.
That's pretty gushy.
Yeah, but he'd been an asshole for 24 hours before that.
Okay, so
You're dry humping tonight. I'm pretty sure you're gushy. I mean, anyone with dry humping's pretty good. If he's gonna let you dry hump for fun, I'm pretty sure you're gushy.
Yeah.
My husband like we're to dry hump and not do anything else. He'd like pardon, you know what I mean?
Watch the game. Roxy, are you best friends with your partner?
I mean, I think I'm sort of like you in that my girlfriends are like my closest, like best friends, you know, and they're the ones I sort of go to. You know, for me, I think we're very close friends, but I don't know that it would be best friends, you know, like it's like I love him, but there are times when I don't like him, you know, it's like, and I feel like with my girlfriends, I don't have that. Like, I love my girlfriends. I like them. Like, it's never like, it's not
no
that same dynamic, right? There's no expectations.
Yep.
It's like, we have, everything is like laid out. We know, you know, what we're going to get. Like, we know how each other is. So I think it's a little bit like not lighter, but
it's less complicated for sure.
Yes.
You don't have as much. I mean, maybe you think this is different. You don't have as much at stake. That's what I think it is. Like, I think that when you have girlfriends, maybe the two of you are different because you work together and you're like, that's a different scenario. I know with my girlfriends, like, I would be devastated if I lost some of them. And again, you guys are probably different because your work is also intertwined. But if you get divorced and you're in love with someone, there's so much at stake. There's the children, there's the finances, there's so much, there's your sex life. Maybe life is easier when there isn't so much at stake, and the relationships you have are easier when there isn't so much at stake. So you have to make a marriage work, or you try to make a marriage work, because you want that for so many other reasons. And that's why it's so important. And that's why we strangle it sometimes, is because it means so much.
Yeah, you do want it for so many other reasons outside of yourself. That's for sure.
But what's the point of like cutting the tie? Like, when is it like not good?
Are you asking for? I'm like asking for a friend. She's like asking for a friend.
We know a lot of people who have never been happier alone. Like, you know, you get to. I think I have a theory that I think that women, well, at least for us, we got married, you know, so young. We met our husband so young, you know, early 20s, and settled down and had a family. And we assumed the role of we were stay-at-home moms, and we were cooking and cleaning. And it's like we didn't have time because no one told us, you know, as girls growing up, that there was opportunity. Like, it's like you couldn't have both. You know what I mean? Like, you were a bad mom if you were even though we had working moms who were single. It was like the society let you know you were a bad mom if you worked and had children, in a way, right? You had to make a choice. Did you want to be with your kids, or did you want to work? And I think for us, it was like, we never knew there was an option. You could do both. And when we kind of opened our eyes and we're like, we love you, but you're not our everything. We need more. And Tammin, you've always worked. So you've had an outside identity outside of yourself, where it hasn't been, just you and your, like, we relied on our husbands for
and
everything.
to clarify, we both had careers before we had children, but once we had children,
careers for 2 years.
We stayed. I'll never forget someone saying to me, and guys, in my opinion, at this time, it was the wrong advice. She was like, if you really want to be a stay-at-home mom, regardless of finances, if you have a partner, you can make that happen. That's a choice you make. So she was like, you could have more money and have a more luxurious life, or you could make it work on that one salary and be a stay-at-home mom. And I remember thinking it, this is before I had kids, and I was like, is that true? I know now that is, I don't believe that. I don't believe that someone just goes to work to have more money. I think they go to work to fulfill, who they are and what they want to do and their passion for life. But when that person said that, and the person was close to me, I thought, so if I really care about my kids, I will stay home with them.
Well, isn't that bullshit though, that we're made
Yes.
that way? It's bullshit.
Everything.
Yeah, we're shamed because it's like we have to make that decision. It's either the kids or the work, and my husband and like other men out there and your husbands, and it's never been that decision. It's never, you don't care about your kids if you go work, or you don't care about your work if you choose to stay at home. Like, it's
Roxy, us traveling, we would have women stop us in the airport and be like, you've opened my eyes that I can go away for a weekend and the kids will be okay. And I'm like, this is common, that a lot of women feel like they couldn't come to our show because their husbands couldn't put their kids to bed by themselves. And that's not 1%. That is a large percentage of people who they are the entire household. And I think that we grew up in our marriages and we were like, wait a minute, and we changed the game, and our husbands, they rolled with it. But I can see how if they were different men, they'd be like, wait a minute.
And I think we really grew up in that time too, because a lot of people would say to us, okay, and you can just imagine if you're a mom who's full of guilt and insecure and like going to work and doing all this. We had so many women say to us, how can you leave your husband and your kids? And I just imagine, it was so easy for Kat and I to be confident in the time that we did it, because we'd worked through, we've matured a lot as moms, that we were so able to settle them in that question instead of being like, you're crushing me because you're making me feel so bad about what I just did. That I imagine that if someone hadn't gone through the maturity of motherhood, that would be such a hurtful comment to say. How do you do that?
It's hard because, I started working professionally at 15 years old. So by 17 years old, I had bought a house. I had traveled the world. By 21, I had moved across continents. So not having money and not working was my identity. So I actually never stopped not working and not making money from my own. But I realized, and through a lot of therapy, that my identity is through work. So like being good enough and worthy enough and whatever is through making money and working. Like I had the total opposite from you. And then you have kids and then you're like, holy shit, like I don't even know what it's like to stay home and take care of someone else. I can hardly even take care of myself. When you're on set all the time, people are doing up your shoelaces. People go, well, you're an idiot. You can't do up your shoelaces. It's like, it's not that you can't. It's just you didn't even know you had to, right? You didn't even know you had to like cook for people. And then all of a sudden it's like, what, you have to cook? Well, how many snacks have you got? I don't even know. Like now it's just like fucking boil an egg and just call it a day. Like how do you even know? So like for people on the flip side who have worked their whole lives and now they're like becoming a mom, you're like, what is my identity? And that's why I kind of got into this mom space, which you guys are in, because I didn't have an identity anymore. I was like, wait, I'm a working person. Now I'm a mom. Now what do I do? And like the guilt that you say from stay-at-home moms and then the guilt from working moms is just as bad. And it's like, it's this perpetual cycle of like women are constantly shamed for everything that they do, no matter what choice. Have breast implants, you're an idiot. Don't have breast implants, you're flat chested. To take Botox, you care too much about your look. Don't take Botox, then you're old. It's like
breastfeed.
Everything is a thing.
Bottle feed. Like all of it. I mean, it's no matter what angle you come from, there's someone hitting you. So you kind of just have to find your, like, we say like, your family is you create your very own brand. Our family is all of our 7 kids and our husbands. We're all a brand together, and we have to be confident in the decisions that we make and the way that we live our life, so that when the bullets come, they can't sticks and stones will hurt you.
And it's the women. This is what's crazy. It's the women who are shaming you or shaming me or shaming Roxy. It's not the men. I don't know a lot of men standing on my side that say like, you know, how could you do this? It's the women, because they feel, I always say the fastest pipeline to hate. The fastest pipeline to hate is unhappiness. Fastest pipeline to hate is unhappiness.
I know.
If someone is unhappy, they attack, and it's the women who feel insecure that come and attack you.
I know, but we have to and our job as like women who are confident in ourselves, feel positive, and want to support women no matter how you do it, is just to lead by example. We have to, because these women are not, they're not bad. They're just, they're not sure.
And like Nat opened my eyes when she said, you know, the reason that people feel so strong about how you do it differently is because if you're doing it differently than them, so their way has to be right, or they feel like, you know, what am I doing wrong? So it's like, women have to be like, no, you're wrong because I'm right, because this is my most important thing to me. And if you're doing it this way and I'm doing it this way, I've got to be right because this is my child and I love them. So we fight over these things, but
it doesn't, we all do it different. We all just need to know that.
But it's right. No matter, there's no
right
way. There's just your way. So we have to let go of, you know, what the shame, because I really do think that the biggest shamers are ourselves. And I really do think that as women, we beat ourselves up the hardest and we judge ourselves the hardest. And a lot of people often ask us, like, how do you handle the hate and the pushback? And we don't see it. We don't get it. And, you know, we have a lot of opposing views from other people. You know, we're from Canada and we're quite liberal and open here. And, you know, we do stand for a lot of different values than some of our followers. And we try to just be like, okay, what's your point of view? I would love to hear your conversation rather than fight them.
Because we would have talk to me. Because we don't know, like in Canada, we're so small compared. Like we're like way smaller than
we're 10% of America's population. You know, we're 30 million in the country.
I think Australia's too, right? Australia's too.
Yeah,
we tiny.
So we know all of the American states have different like opinions on everything.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, we have to be open because we don't know what your background is. We don't know where you came from. It enlighten us to why you have these opinions.
And I don't agree with you, and I might not agree with you, but I'm not going to yell
and I'm never going to.
And I don't agree with what you're saying, but I want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, no, you know what? I was a social worker before I did all this, and I think that the biggest problem with social media is it's so one way, but it's also one way. It's a one-way street both ways. And there's no open communication because it's DMs and my message, your DMs, right? So there's no forum to have conversations where and that's why the podcast is kind of a beautiful place, because it's conversations versus one post that someone can take personally based on their day, right? Like they're going to personalize what you say. So we just really try to have an open mind to people while supporting, you know, what we believe in a way that is open-minded and just not shut people down and be open with ourselves. And, you know, someone DM'd us was like, we have really different views, but I appreciate you letting me write in your DM. I'm like, girl, write all you want, tell us your view. Go crazy.
Yeah.
Guys,
I think you guys are really smart too, because you use humor, which is such a powerful tool, and it unites so many people. Because who doesn't love to fucking laugh and like have a jolly, like after a crazy hard day in the middle of a pandemic? Like, I think what you guys are doing, I mean, it's amazing because you connect with so many more people in the style that you do it in.
It's funny you say that, Roxy. Because we have a teen and tween, like we have created a parenting group where people like subscribe to our parenting group. We bring on experts because we happen to have girls. Her daughter is just 11. My daughter is just 12. And we are entering into a totally different, like sphere of parenting. So we had to create this, like, it's a subscription based model for parents to join so that they feel like they're not alone. But it's so funny that you say that, because we were talking to one of the therapists and they were like, sometimes people just use humor to get through the really hard times. And Kat and I we've had a life. Like I'm not saying that we've had the hardest life and like we like grew up with but we like our stories of the way that our families broke up and how our moms had to survive was something that you could cry about every day, or you could get through it and then you could find a little bit of joy and happiness and thankfulness that you survived and that you had two strong moms who got you through it.
Yeah, our moms didn't have time to think about anything other than surviving. So when you grow up with watching a mom survive and not be able to think about shame or guilt or like their body, or, you know, when you watch your mom struggle just to put food on the table and a roof on your head, I think the appreciation you have for everything is a lot more open, and it's just a different philosophy. It's just a different, I think we grew up in a very open-minded world because we come from a very open.
Our moms were gone. Like my mom was gone before I woke up, and she was home after I fed my siblings dinner. Like so it's like, if we can get through this, there's gotta be a way to laugh through it. You have to have a sense of humor for sure, but laughter really makes it easier. I have to say, we've been talking for a while. I feel like the four of us are sitting at a table.
I know. When can we have wine together? Oh, we're gonna do a road trip up near Canada. I don't think Canada's gonna let us in. But we'll be like, oh my God, I'll be like on the one side of the border. You can be on the other side of the border. We can be like, hey, having shot.
I'll throw a gummy over to you guys. You can catch it.
We're legal for gummies here.
Yeah, we can do drugs here.
Oh, no, I took a gummy once and I drove myself to the hospital and was like, I'm stuck between time and death. It was horrible.
Are you trying to get to the hospital after gummies?
I've only smoked weed twice, and both were terrible experiences.
And this was like also 15 years ago. So I'm like, Tammin, it's time for you to eat a gummy.
Yeah, okay.
I'm way too scared. I'm way too scared.
Tammin, Kat and I grew up smoking joints.
I wish I liked it. I have anxiety.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, here she goes.
So afraid to smoke a joint or do
I've done it twice. It was terrible.
Yeah, I did it 100 times and I still.
We need to go back.
You still think it's terrible.
I can't do it now. I overthink shit. I said if I do it in front of my husband, I may be like, I actually don't love you. The way that I look at you,
I just do that when I ovulate and when I'm PMSing. I'm literally like, I don't think that you're the one that's meant for me. On day 11 and 12 of my cycle, I'm always like, you know what? I'm wrong. And you would think that every single month I would say this just happens on day 11 and 12, but day 11 and 12, I'm like, I just don't think we're meant for each other. Conversation that you had said about like, you know, opening, like letting people have opinions. And I think you're so right. I find it so hard, especially what we went through with like the election. It's hard now to like be able to just accept so many opinions when opinions can be hard or detrimental to the people that you love, you know? So it's like, at what point is it like, I accept your opinion, let's talk about it? Or is it like being silent is standing on the side of the oppressor?
Oh, wow.
At what point is it like, no, I have to say something because it's going to do more harm to the people I love than good? Or is it better to just open up the conversation, because how do you learn why people feel a certain way until you understand them? It's like a really hard thing right now, and especially in America where you just don't know which way to go.
Well, we have to start off by saying in Canada, politics is not a table conversation. We are not like our differences are not huge
from the different parties.
Politics, you would have no idea who votes for who, and who your friends vote for. It is not a conversation. It is not up for debate.
And your party would change week, like
month. Like no one even.
It depends. It's not.
That being said, the last thing that you said, I think, is the most therapeutic for friends and family to discuss things, is to open it up, to learn from each other why they stand for specific things, to understand, because if they're your friends and family, they're not bad people. So why do you believe in this? I need to know. I need to understand.
Yeah. And I think with our community, you know, every woman in our community deserves to feel safe in our community and deserves to feel like, you know, as people who have a community that, you know, we're there for them because we have a voice. And I can imagine what that would feel like to be silenced and not have a voice. And I think what we can do is try to educate in a way as best as we can, because we'll never be the experts. And, you know, we haven't experienced a lot of the hate and a lot of the, you know, in systemic racism and the oppression that a lot of different people have felt. So, but what we can do is, have a lens where we're aware of the conversations we're having and share articles and try to bring awareness to the emotion behind the people who have these stories and these feelings rather than tell people how they should feel. So we just try to bring like a human experience and a kind of a platform for other people.
Because you can imagine some of the followers are exposed to absolutely nothing. It's something that they maybe heard through a friend or on a news, like a quick news hit.
Or like a social media site that is an opinion-based social media site that they take as news. And we're not here to judge anyone, because for me to sit here and tell you that your views are, what you grew up in, that most of them, you grew up in that, and that's what you believe, but you might not know different. So if we can do subtle changes and just try to like open your mind a little bit to hear a different perspective, how good is that, rather than me yell at you and scream at you and tell you what you should believe in, because that's going to get me nowhere. So, we've had lots. I mean, if when we do posts about, kind of like things that are going on, or like, the hate crime against women, or Asian hate crime, or BLM, or whatever it is, we take time in our DMs to go and have conversations with people, and big conversations with people about these things. And they'll be like, you're a fucking idiot. I'm gone. And that's fine. That's fine.
We've had lots of people say, I've been following you for 5 years and I am out.
Yeah.
You
it's
just
about race and injustice, and all of a sudden people are out. And that is what is shocking to me, which I, as an Australian, have learned, now an American citizen, have learned within the last 4 years, that there is an issue that we need to address. And you're more than right when my husband says you need to talk to people and understand. Sometimes you just expect people to know morally and ethically what's right, but you can't expect that sometimes when, their environment was a fertile environment for, making their views come to be. So it's
Absolutely.
like, you can't.
We just learned, Tim, and that you're like born into a party, like that families believe in like blue or red, like that's like a family. And I'm like, as we've worked in America, we've learned that, politics runs through the entire, like it's such a huge part of the American system, and that's new to us. Like, whoa, that was an intense lesson for us to learn. And, with every situation, we try to just do better and do more. And we're not doing enough. We're not. And we're the first to say it, because there's so much content that we do, but we try to keep a lens with our followers, and we're always open to feedback and to conversations. And, we do our best every day, and it's never enough, because our platform is entertainment. And so, it's hard to weave into, but we try to make sure experts are represented. We try to make sure that our team, we come as in Australia and Canada, we had a huge injustice to Indigenous people, people. So, we try to just understand our lens and follow through with it and do our best.
Make sure that, like, for all of the women who follow us and all the people that follow us, that we're open to all opinions, and we're open to absolutely everyone. Of course, hate is not accepted, and that's not okay. But everything else, we're all learning together.
Yeah. And putting people down will never stand. Like you can leave. I don't like, no, and we'll just address the conversations. Our DMs are always open, and we welcome conversations, welcome them. Welcome them.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to, way to think about it, because it is so like spicy right now. Everything is like hot,
spicy.
hot.
Spiciness is going to be what's going to make a change. It's going to be like our kids will look back on this time and say, thank God, Mom, you lived through this, and you hopefully helped make a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even just politics. It's such, even parenting and the way you talk and punishment and food and the way, like, how you feed your children, how you talk to your children about body. Like, I'm worried I'm telling Phoenix, like, no, don't have ice cream. Am I telling her, no, don't have ice cream, and she's going to think it's because of her body? Like, there's so many conversations to have, gender, that, it can be so overwhelming and so confusing. And I think that you just have to go into it going, hey, I'm going to do the best I can. And I don't really have all the answers. And if I call you the wrong gender because I didn't know, I am sorry.
Yes.
Oh my God, that sounded really Canadian. That sounded really Canadian.
Sorry.
Just trying to do the best you can. And the rest is just, the rest is gravy. You just
You're right.
that's all you can do.
We're doing the best that we can, and that's that's going to have to be good enough.
And if you take yourself as a student rather than an expert, if you're a student of life, and I think we're all students of motherhood and students of the society we live in, and we never claim to be experts in anything. We're just really trying our best to learn alongside and know if we've done something wrong. We are so open to do better at any point, and we're always open here for the conversation. And that's what we try to do, is keep the lines open, so it's not a one-way street.
Can I ask, where do you both live?
Los Angeles, California,
Austin right now.
She's in Austin.
Right. So you guys can't be together. Oh, I can't wait to have you on our podcast so I can ask you all the juicy questions I want to know about you two.
Yes.
And we are going to go over there very soon, aren't we?
So guys, we're going to go over to Cat and Ad's podcast.
Yeah.
So go over there and listen to our interview.
Yes.
And guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I've had 1 glass of wine. I'll have 2 with yours. I'm going to be getting jiggy with it tonight with my dry humping. Just wait till the husband gets to know my plan.
I literally feel like the 4 of us could sit across from a table with a candle in the middle and talk for 7 hours and then say, let's make an appointment. No, sorry.
An appointment.
Let's make an appointment for a waxing and some therapy.
Hey, as long as the bottle doesn't run out, we're in.
Oh, I know. No, I can hang till at least 3 glasses, guys.
Oh, me too. Jam it,
do
it. And then we'll go to bed. You can dry hump, and I
good.
got me.
So anyways, tell me more about it.
Oh
my husband just texted me. He's like, I brought more wine. It's like, little does he know.
We're gonna FaceTime. We're gonna dry him.
I love it.
I'll text everyone. I'll be like, I got my dry hump.
Yes.
So
oh my God.
I know you guys have a million places for people to find you. Please just let everyone know where they can find you.
Honestly, guys, we are everything at Catnat, CATANDNAT. Those are real names. It's not fake names. We have a podcast.
I love that.
Called Mom Truths, and
a book and a thing and a thing.
You just Google Catnat and you'll find everything about us.
Amazing.
And don't forget to rate, subscribe, and comment, please, on all the podcast apps so we can keep bringing you amazing content like Cat and Nat.
Cat and Nat, Cat and Nat. And we are Women on Top Official on Instagram.
And we are Women on Top we are Women on Top Podcast on Facebook, and we also have a clubhouse group called Women on Top as well.
Yes, we do.
Yes, and go to Cat and Nat for part 2 of this amazing hang. It's a girls hang.
And I am Tammin Sursock.
And I am Roxy Manning.
And we are
Women on
Top.